Hello, I hope you've been well. Fiona is my name. Today, I want us to discuss one of the estate planning tools that some Ugandans have started embracing. And I think that this information, the more of us have it, the better we can put it to use. Fiona is my name. Welcome back to this account. If you are new here, give us a follow, watch our other videos. If you're a regular, thank you so much for always taking time out of your busy schedule and spending time with me. Now, very many people know about wills as tools of estate planning, but remember that a will come into effect upon the death of the testator or the maker of the will. On the other hand, we have what we call a living trust. A living trust is an instrument of estate planning where the settler or the person who is making the trust will settle property on people. We call them trustees, and then he will give directions on how that property is supposed to be managed, who is supposed to get what, and this takes effect as the grantor or the settler is alive. Remember that a will only takes effect upon the death of the testator, but a living trust begins working even when this person is alive, and he can put himself as a beneficiary, he can put himself or herself as a trustee. And if you look at estates that transcend several generations, you'll find that many of them apply trusts as estate planning tools. The reason is that while under the estate administration, when we consider wills, is that wills essentially disintegrate a person's estate. They will say, this house will give it so and so, this farm will give it so and so, this car will give it to the other person, and therefore each person will take the effect being that what originally was one big estate has now been divided among different people. Now, on the other hand, a living trust is a tool that can actually consolidate and preserve an estate of a person. How is that done? In your trust deed, you can put clauses on how you want, for example, incomes that are generated from different properties to be applied. Let's assume you have 5 children, then you have a husband, or there's a husband, there's a wife. There are different relatives who, a settler or a grantor, who rely on the grantor or the settler. Now, when you make your deed, you will first of all have a schedule of all the assets that are going to be affected by the trust, or the properties that you're going to settle on the trustees. Then you appoint the trustees, and these trustees have instructions on what they're supposed to do with the property, whether it is to do a business and get business income and distribute that income amongst the beneficiaries. If it's, for example, a commercial property, you can say the beneficiaries each is entitled to a monthly salary or allowance or stipend, whatever name you call it. But you see that in the living trust scenario, property still is under the trustees' administration. Only the incomes that flow out of there go to the beneficiaries. And you can say maybe for the next 20 years, for the next 30 years, this is how my estate is going to be. Of course, the argument is that once you die, your estate somehow has to be inherited, and that is very true. But many people, a lot of people's estates have vanished into thin air because there is no allowance for transition for somebody who is going to inherit, to maybe first build their capacity to know, how am I going to manage this estate, how am I going to preserve it. So they come into money, and money gets to their head, and money vanishes within a short period of time, the estate of that person is not there. Under a living trust, you can spell out what you want the trustees to do such that the beneficiaries benefit and even people who come after them benefit. Because you can say, during the life of so and so, he's entitled. Once a person dies, their children now can become beneficiaries under the trust. I hope you're there, and if you have not really thought about, writing a will or administration of your estate, it's never too early for some of these things. Just do your research. Don't let your estate disintegrate into chaos upon your death. And for some people, they think that writing a will or going through these processes will jinx them and maybe will cause them bad luck. But at the end of the day, you have to make your plans. Whether you go with a will, whether you go with a living trust, it will always depend on what you want at the end of the day and what you want for your children, the beneficiaries of your estate. I hope this information has been helpful to you. Leave a comment, like, repost, and I will see you soon.